Ciao. Bonjour.
No.
Willkommen.
Nope. No.
Hello, hello.
Hello. You can't start. You can't start a return to our homeland, the motherland, with a foreign word. We don't want none of that foreign muck over here, coming over here, taking our intros. Hello everyone, welcome back to Blighty Day Fiance, or welcome to Blighty Day Fiance if you haven't trotted along to the cabin before. We're not in the cabin, we're inside the house. It's very cold and rainy, we ain't in the cabin, and we're back. I'm talking really fast.
His name is Robin.
Her name is Michelle.
He's my husband.
She's my wife.
He's British.
She's American.
That makes us uniquely qualified. Oh, we both used to work in film and television.
Yeah, that's relevant.
Him more than me.
Yeah.
So that's our unique selling point, is we're familiar with the industry. We know.
We have the paperwork. We have the credentials.
We have the credentials.
Yeah.
We've peeked behind.
We've peaked.
The curtain. Well.
Yeah, we've definitely peaked. Anyway, that's why we're here. We like covering reality and dating shows because that is what we do. We have a slight UK bent to what we do as well, although we're very much in touch with our American sides.
Yes.
But that's why we love 90 Day Fiance more than anything. Do we? Well, sometimes. But we're excited, aren't we?
We're very excited.
Yeah.
We've got, we also have a new co-host joining to help me cover 90 Day Love in Paradise, which is incredible this year. You're going to get to meet
really
him
good.
this week, and I think you're going to love him.
He's got a nice voice.
He's got a great voice. He sounds like Christian Slater.
He's got the opposite voice to me.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
It's a nice balance. The two of you could be talking at some point.
Yeah. He's a very nice man. You'll all love him. Anyway.
Cousin Dan is back as our editor and producer.
Yes.
Praise be for that one, y'all.
praise
We are
be.
lost without them.
We are. The slight absence from beautiful Dan in our lives was one factor in our hiatus. There have been many other factors in our hiatus, but our hiatus is now a hiatoff. Does that work?
That's such... Yeah, fine. Yeah,
Good.
yes and.
Yes, and. Right. We could chitter all day because we're super excited. We've forgotten how microphones work and all of that stuff. I will just quickly guide you, be you new, be you old, be you something borrowed or blue, to our Facebook group, which is Blighty Day Bays, BAES, to our Patreon. Patreon.
You know, they probably know how to spell bays. They probably don't know how to spell Blighty, more likely.
Yeah, it's on the name of the
that
podcast
is
they're listening to.
Bravo, Lima, India, Golf, Hotel, Tango, Yankee.
Delta,
Alpha, Yoga,
Yankee,
Yankee, sorry, Yanka.
Bravo, Alpha, Echo, Sierra,
yeah.
there you go. Patreon.com/Blighty Day.
If you're wondering why my skills are so great, it's because I used to work with police and I had to spell people's names all the time.
Yeah, she also spends all day looking out the window calling the cops on people. She's just obsessed with it. That person looks shifty. Bing, bing.
No, you're confusing me with the dog.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, the pug does do that.
Our pug is such a Karen.
Who the fuck are you?
She is the absolute worst. If she could call the police, she would be on the phone constantly. She hates other people having fun.
A child just walked past the house. Fucking outrage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Patreon. There's lots of stuff there. You can listen to all this without ads and much more besides. Won't go into great detail because we want to get into it. You can email us at blightydayfiance@gmail.com and that'll do. Let's start the show.
Yes, and thanks also to our operations manager, Eliza.
Yes.
And congratulations to her because she just had a
Yes.
baby.
A Blighty Day bay.
Henry James.
Henry James?
Yeah.
It's quite auspicious.
It's a really nice name. He's very cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, love you, Eliza. All right.
Is he going to be on?
He might be. He's not saying much these days.
I want a recap from a baby, and I want it hard. I want, when Louise is back on the show, 3 fucking episodes.
You want the
Louise.
babber.
I want our baba, right, to talk about her baba.
Louise is looking good.
Yeah, Louise is looking good.
She looks gorgeous. Yeah. Motherhood suits her.
Sadly, Jose not so much.
That's mean.
It is Jose, not Jose, isn't it?
No, it's Jose.
Is it Jose?
Yes.
Okay. I always get it wrong. I know that in Portugal, you say Jose.
Yep, very different language. That's Portuguese and Spanish. They're not the same.
Yeah, that's right. Because where's he from? He's not from Brazil, is he?
Who?
No. Jose. Is he from Colombia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not.
If he were from Brazil and he was called Jose, how would you say it then?
Yeah, and if I was from Canada, I would talk like this, and I probably wouldn't swear as much, and I wouldn't think so poorly of other people. But here we are.
Here we are.
Okay? Right.
90 to fuck. We are gonna start with Charlotte and, oh God, it's another, how do you say the name?
Now, she says Johan.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a real name. I think his name is probably pronounced Johan.
It may well be.
But who am I to say when she's his fiance?
You know what? I think you have to, unless they're giving them another name because they think that 20 years ago they looked like Justin Timberlake, I think we have to do what they do until proven otherwise.
Okay, so we'll call him.
While biting our tongues and through gritted teeth, we are going to say Johan.
First impressions on Charlotte, I really liked her.
I don't dislike her. I am all about her mother, who might be the spiciest mother we've had for quite some time.
Oh, yes.
Like, Da Fuck traditionally has had the supportive older generations, right? We think of Granny with the Growlers.
Granny Liz
in season 1, you know what I mean? We haven't had a pure shade matriarch. And I'm kind of here for it. I'm here for Stip Dead, who looks exactly like the dad out of Strangers with Candy. I expect to see him like freeze framed. Yeah, Charlotte's all right.
If you get that joke, you're family.
Yes, if you get that joke,
if you get that reference, you're family. Yeah, let's play a little clip of Charlotte. I believe in this one, she's talking to her mom about her plans.
I'm 34, nearly 35 now, and my time's ticking. I want to settle down and be with someone and share everything. Not be the loner at every party, you know? Come in by myself and go home to my cats. Me and Johan both want the same things in life, and that is to just have a family. Not the be-all and end-all, though, is it? Children.
That was amazing. That was, I think, the best bit in the conversation. Like, for the mum to go, kids are a bit shit, though, aren't they?
And then
Tinkerbell drops her glockenspiel in the background.
she follows it up with only moments later. You know, Charlotte says something to the effect of, "Oh, it'd be nice for you to have a grandson or a granddaughter." And she goes,
"Already got them.
Already got grandkids."
Yeah, but it's my turn. Nah, done that. Oh boy. If I were to go on this show, my mother would be exactly like this.
Your mother on this show would be a star in a way that no one else has ever been.
She would, though, wouldn't she?
Y'all, Robin, my mother-in-law was... my mother-in-law was invited to leave a shared residence because... One, she started a fist fight between two of the other residents.
She did. 2 men started fighting.
Yep.
2 sedate octogenarians came to fisticuffs.
Yeah. 2, she told the entire development that there was a documentary film crew coming and that they needed to, quote, wear their best.
Yeah. Complete bullshit. Didn't
Total lies.
didn't happen in any way. And then 3, she started stalking this 100-year-old woman and just wouldn't stop chittering at her.
And that was it.
That was it. The 100-year-old woman went, I need her to leave me alone.
I need her to leave. This woman is 100 years old, y'all. And she had what, like a week of your mother?
Yeah, her last week left probably. Just relentless chittering. Oh boy.
Yeah. There was something about Charlotte's mom, though, and forgive me because I've forgotten her name already, but there was something I felt a little bit like she had been maybe told by the producers that she couldn't say certain things. Do you get my drift?
Bad things.
I never want to make allegations about where people's sympathies lie or don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But I feel like
I get the feeling on this show they would just say it. I think of all of the franchises, sometimes 90 to Fuck can be the most racist.
Yeah.
Think of Pigface in the last season.
Oh God, Pigface.
Yeah. So anyway, Charlotte seems all right. I ain't got much time for her look, I should just say, because we didn't say, 3 episodes dropped over here in the UK. I think in the States as well.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah, everyone got 3 at once.
We're treating this as one mega episode.
Yes.
Right? Because for the dear life of us, we can't do... I mean, they always start off like this with the fuck, right? And
yeah.
Yeah, fine.
And we never learn, to be fair.
No, we never learned. We didn't realise that they all dropped and we were like, motherfucker.
Mother forklift.
Yeah, they've done it 3 times in a row. We really should have learned. But yeah, when she's out there visiting him and she's sort of, I'm really bored. I'm like, that is my dream vacation. My dream vacation is just to be left alone so I can say, I love you very much, my love. However, I'm sure you feel the same as well. Like we get together and do our chittering and whatever, and that's all good, right? But if I told you I've got to go and work for a few hours, leaving you just to sit unmolested by a pool without the need to talk to anyone, pina colada in one hand, Kindle in the other, you'd be delighted, wouldn't you?
I'd be on the toilet for like 6 hours if I had a pina colada.
Okay, fine. Yeah, fair point. I stayed in that resort.
Is it nice?
Yeah, it's lovely. Here's the...
Also, sorry to interrupt
He may
you.
have animated me.
I think he's probably too young. I can't think, 7 years ago?
Yeah, you're right. I did go like maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, I do remember the animation team of that resort though. They were relentless. Why do they call them the animation team?
I don't know.
It must mean something in another, like in French or something. I mean, I know it's like to get people moving and stuff, but it's a funny word, isn't it?
We need to normalize married couples who go on vacation separately, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be horrible when you went to Cyprus this year, but it was actually really, really nice. And because it was great, because I didn't want to go. You were relaxing. I got to spend time with my mom.
Yeah.
You came back and you were lovely.
Yeah.
And it was just really nice.
Bronzed and gorgeous, I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to go again next week. I'm not.
Amazing.
Yeah. But no, I've stayed there, and prepare yourselves for another bombshell later in the show. My crossovers with this season of 90 Day
I know.
are pretty extreme.
This has been such an uncomfortable watch for
It
you.
really has. Like I was so triggered by quite a lot of things. Yeah.
So you say that she's sitting there bored and complaining, but how can you really relax when you've got this in your head?
I'm just annoyed. After speaking to the barman and Sarah today, you think he, flirt?
Yes.
Him being an entertainer, does it not worry you? My mind is running wild.
Yes.
It's like Andy Warhol directed an episode of 90 Day Fiance. It was very, very weird, wasn't it? It was very experimental.
I was half expecting a little treat, like the Dune soundtrack. Are we going to have to pay royalties for that?
I'm worried about us putting clips from the show, but now I've got fucking Hans Zimmer is going to start.
No, the clips are within 20
it's for review purposes. They're called Brahms. Did you know that?
Who's called Brahms?
The sound of like big sort of brass, which is all over every movie soundtrack now, right?
Yeah.
They're known in the soundtracking world as Brahms, which is at least 2 A's, possibly 3.
That's exactly what they sound like. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Sorry if we've blown your ears out, frightened your children, or activated your pets.
Right.
But this is who we are.
Yeah. What do you think of Johan? I think he's quite a cutie. I think he's quite nice. He's all right. Seems like he loves his mama.
Who is my
your age,
but never mind.
Maybe younger. I've got time for him, and I've sort of got time for her. She's a little bit entitled, but we'll let that go.
I don't think she's entitled in the least. She's worked hard for that house. 20 years. She owns doing barbering.
Got my car.
She owns a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
She's got her own car.
Yeah.
You know, she hasn't settled for some guy, whatever, like the village drunk, you know,
No, I
or
don't
the
mean
leftover
entitled
in her
like
friend
that.
group.
What I mean is, just like to expect him. It's the old, oh, why are you working all the time? Oh, why are you supporting your family? Why money? All of those. I find it slightly entitled. Like this is life out there. Just accept it, or don't go looking for a partner there. That's all I mean. I'm not coming at her hard. I'm just saying, just a little bit more sensitivity.
I'm going to push back. I think she's very sensitive to it. I think the fact that she's contributed to, paying for his mother's medical care,
roof.
She helped with the roof, things like that. I think she's very aware of what the stakes are.
You know what? Maybe it's more that she's bored of people telling her off for it. So after a while, you have to say this stuff almost like to get your defenses. Like I've considered all of this, but I'm a caring human being, so fuck you. Yeah.
I also think if she was having the time of her life, then there wouldn't be any conflict, and these things don't exist without conflict.
Oh yeah, I forgot the whole idea of a TV show.
Can't you just see that there's like a PA running up to her and being like, you look too happy and relaxed. Like, you know how you just wanted silence and
could you just talk to this woman on the beach who no one else can see, and who is going to ask you a very offhand, off the top of her head list of questions that definitely haven't been written by me.
Right.
Yeah. Could you just do that? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Look, we like them. Don't know if there's really much more to say. We'll see, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a great love story, you know? And there are times when he does seem quite disengaged.
I haven't really seen what's between them, I guess. That's what's missing, you know? I mean, say what you will about Danielle and Johan, and I don't know why I'm reaching for that as the nearest analog, but at a minimum they had sexual chemistry. They fought constantly, but you could see
he seemed to like her tininess. She seemed to like the opposite.
She was into that banana tree.
Right. Planting them all over the beach. Little banana trees springing up everywhere. Yes, there was something there, which I'm not seeing here, but hey, early days. And also, you know what? 90 Day UK doesn't really capture sexual chemistry very well.
I agree with that completely.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think of the great couples there have been, and there have been. The only one time they did it was Bridie. and what was his name?
Host.
That fucking sizzled,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That sizzled. But that is the only time they've done it. Anyway, who's next?
Do you think that's a cultural difference? I mean, I've seen more of Angela and Michael than I ever wanted to see in my life. Ditto Ed and whoever Ed is with.
Yeah.
In fact, most of the sex that
you've seen in America
I've seen
that
on
you wish you hadn't.
Original Recipe has been very much against my will.
Yeah. But I think of like some of the 90 to fuck like luminaries over the years. I think of Sean and
Christine?
no, Victoria. Sean and Victoria.
Yeah.
Imagine them having sex. You can't do it.
No, I can't.
You literally can't do it, right? No bit of him can go into any bit of her, or vice versa.
We can't be the only people who are
banging
thinking...
a Ken and Barbie doll against each other. Not that either of them look that way. And like going, well, there's nothing. They don't have bits, do they? Either of them. Victoria might, but I can't think of Sean as having bits. They're entirely sexless. He is. You know what I'm saying? And there's been a few cast members in the UK one who you go, how?
You just can't imagine them fucking.
You just can't imagine them
fucking.
No,
you can't even imagine them having bing bongs or vaginas.
No.
No.
As we go through the cast, I would like us to briefly...
talk about their genitals.
Yeah, out of 10, I'd like us to score the chances of them having genitals. Okay, we'll just keep that in mind. Okay.
Well, Charlotte's certainly... she's horny. Yeah. She wants it.
She wants it.
She's got 10 out of 10 has genitals.
Charlotte, I am willing to go on the record at this point and say that Charlotte definitely has genitals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Johan does too.
So let's move on. Let's go from Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, to somewhere you are very familiar with in the north of London.
I come from this place. I am from Stanmore, top of the Jubilee line, North London. It's the Grey Line. If anyone's visited London, we have colour-coded public transport, underground trains, tubes, right? You all know the tube. And the only thing interesting about Stanmore is it's at the very end of one of those lines, right? And Stanmore is not a place I have ever seen represented in any media whatsoever in any way. No one famous is from Stanmore.
No.
George Michael is from not far from Stanmore.
But he's more from, what's that Greek Cypriot area where Jamie and Natasha Demetrio are from?
Barnet, I think. But his dad had a restaurant in Edgware, and your man in this, what's his name? Jamie.
Yeah.
He's at Edgware Station when he goes to meet his friend who is weird, but I can't remember what the t-shirt said, right? And they go into a cafe at Edgware Station where I used to get a cup of crap tea there every day. So I know it's fucking spooking me the shit out seeing these. It's really weird. Like no one comes from there. This is not a place that is remotely on the map. Yes, it's London, but the thing about London, as you'll know, if you've been watching Selling the UK, what's it bloody called?
Oh, Buying London. Y'all.
London's a load of villages. But it is, right? London's not really a city. Even more than, I think of like American cities like New York. And yeah, there are defined areas of New York. Of course there are. And there are boroughs. And then, even within Manhattan, you've got your Chelseas and your Greenwiches and your NoHos or whatever, fine. But London really is, like all of those places on the tube map, they are very distinct from all of the others, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
50 or 60 probably discernible villages go to make London.
You know what's not in London?
Yeah.
Fucking Radlett.
No.
Not in London.
You can make the argument.
If you want to know our opinions about that, we'll recap an episode on the Patreon. If you really want to put yourself through that torture.
I don't know. It's pretty unwatchable, that show. But Aylesbury as well. We'll get on to Aylesbury. You see, Aylesbury is also on the tube. So Stanmore is really almost about as much London as Aylesbury is.
Yeah.
Right? And you got Sprite, who we'll get to later on, going like, where the fuck am I? That's Stanmore. It's just as where the fuck am I as, right? It's nothing. It's nothing. I once got in a big fight with the rapper Warren G about my feelings towards Stanmore. And it turned out he'd never been to Stanmore, so he was in no position to talk about it in any way. Stanmore! This motherfucker comes from Stanmore. He's a North London Jew from Stanmore.
Yeah.
I am also a North London Jew from Stanmore. It is weird seeing this on TV. It is very weird.
And he has a wonderful way of introducing himself, which I will play for you all now.
Are you sure? Have a drink till I sit down.
Oh, Mum, just move out the way. I was like, leave me alone, Mum. I don't want anything else. I'm fine. Get my washing done for me. I get my food cooked for me. I've got a freedom of an adult, but a responsibility of a kid. And I love it.
Yeah, that's where we differed.
Now, if that...
Because my mother is nothing like this.
Yeah, your mom was like, there's a tin of cat food in the closet that expired 10 years ago.
Yeah, give it to the cat and wish you could eat it. Yeah, that's not true. I was a fat kid too. So there must have been some food in the house. But yeah, I certainly wasn't mothered like Jamie is mothered. I don't think she's done him many favours.
No.
Old Marsha from Spaced.
Yeah, she does. She's so much like Marsha. She'd make a great landlady.
She would make an amazing landlady.
Like, couldn't do enough for you.
Oh, it would be wonderful, right? But essentially that's what he is. He's a guest at her hotel. Mm-hmm. He's got his toys under the bed. It's nice. I like that. I'm not actually going to come for him for that because I admire... I also accumulate things which ostensibly have no value. The differences between wrestling figures and cables, the cables can be put to practical use. They might not be.
Not this again.
Yeah.
You know when I really want to scare people, when they send me DMs, they're like, the cable thing isn't that bad. And then I send them photos and then they're like, oh my God, I have, what is it, like... Not surrogate anxiety.
I've got more coming this week.
Okay.
I've got some snakes coming.
What the hell was that?
What?
That ad for model snakes.
Well, it's because I was looking for audio snakes, right? Which is... You really want me to talk?
No, I don't want you to talk about it.
It's a bunch of cables all together in a big, heavy sleeve. And and now Google has started showing me adverts for hot modeling snakes.
So weird.
It's really weird.
All right. So Jamie is in a relationship. He works for TfL, Transport for London.
Ladies love a man in a uniform.
That is a well-paying job.
Just not that uniform.
I'll just say, when you don't have any outgoing expenses, in particular, that is a very well-paid job.
Maybe. I don't know what he does for TfL. But it's quite hard to get a job for TfL.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah, because it's heavily unionized and it does tend to be... Come at me if you work for TfL and this isn't true. I know it's true for tube drivers. I don't know about the wider family, but you kind of need to know someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you get those jobs, you got them for life.
Not anymore.
No.
Everything's becoming automated, but we're not going to get into that conversation.
That's true.
That's incidentally why unions are important.
That is also true.
Anyway... So Jamie has been unlucky in finding love domestically. I wonder why. There's a saying about Jewish mothers, which is that what's the difference between a Jewish mother and a Rottweiler? The Rottweiler will eventually let go of the baby.
Yeah.
Marsha, whose name isn't Marsha, but that's
we're
what
calling
we're
her Marsha.
Marsha.
If you haven't watched Spaced, by the way, and I know a lot of Americans have, do watch it. Sitcom with Simon Pegg way back in the day. I don't know how well it's aged, but I think quite well.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I think it's about on a level with Nathan Barley in terms of like how well it might have aged.
Directed by Edgar Wright, of course, now making big movies. Yeah. Go watch it. It's very good. But Marsha was a great character, and his mum is Marsha. Anyway,
yeah. We love and support Marsha.
We do. Who is Jamie in love with?
Jamie is in love with Kathleen.
Another Kathleen from the Philippines.
Yep. But she lives in Cyprus. She's a domestic worker in Cyprus.
Yep.
That is hard work. Hats off to her to basically have, take care of a baby full time and be the full time housekeeper and work 6 days a week. Like that's, charmingly, this is not a judgment. She appears to have 2 rows of upper teeth.
She might be a French bulldog. I'm just saying.
I don't think you're supposed to compare women to dogs, but our Frenchie happens to have a spare set of teeth.
He's got another row up there in his upper deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
I mean it nicely because, I love Frenchies. So if she does have teeth like the schmoo, then well done to her.
Now, there is some friction between them, and something comes out when, let's say, the vibe is off.
The vibe is way down the road.
Still upset about me going with the other girl. I did cheat on Kathleen in the past. We had a huge argument and we didn't talk for a bit. We were still together. And then I got a message from her friend, being a bit flirty. I didn't do nothing with her friend until I separated from Kathleen. In Kathleen's eyes, she counted it as cheating. I really, really regret hurting Kathleen. It was not my intention at all because I really, really do love her and appreciate her. And I would never, ever betray her trust again.
It was online cheating.
I am so sorry. I was just made aware that Darren Aronofsky was responsible for directing that segment. Like that's such that sound design. I mean,
no. Now that you're playing these clips, whoever does the music for 90 Day UK,
fucking incredible.
It is full on, isn't it?
The music is everything. I never noticed until I was playing these clips.
I know,
just
right?
now.
Someone's having a heart attack while playing the harp.
It's Black Swan.
It is Black
It's
Swan.
really it's that sound frequency that makes your stomach turn.
We're getting into Jacob's Ladder territory. Oh goodness. Anyway, it was online cheating.
Yeah, it was.
It's like he's never seen the show. There is a very big difference.
Did you used to talk like that?
No.
Did you ever have that accent?
No. I've got things I could say, but I don't really want to.
Okay.
Because they're very elitist and unpleasant.
You don't have to say it. You did go to private school, so.
There's 2 sides to Stanmore, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, we won't encourage that kind of elitism.
No.
We're not like that.
I don't like it. I don't. That's the thing. I to say it would suggest that I approve, and I don't. But Stanmore had, Stanmore was ridden with class warfare. Stanmore it's basically like you've seen The Wire, right?
Yeah.
Stanmore.
I think now you have to talk about the conversation that you had with Warren G about Stanmore, because it feels like it's all connected. No?
No.
Okay.
We promise never to discuss it.
But you were talking about like whose neighborhood was worse, right?
He told me I can't diss my herd. And
oh, right.
it's like you've got to rep your people. And I'm like, I don't really want to rep Stanmore because I didn't really like it very much. What I will just say, what I didn't like actually was the schism. I didn't like the side of Stanmore I was from.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Actually, people like Jamie were lovely. Right? But it was more the sort of, the pricks I went to school with that were the arseholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, my voice isn't like him. We come from different sides of the track. So I'm just saying my side of the tracks was a bit fucking gross. Not that I was particularly born into it. My parents come from extraordinarily humble roots, but thought that was an aspirational thing to do, to move to a place like that. Mm-hmm. And it was horrible. Hated it. So if I could pick a side, it would be his side.
The salt of the earth.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. They're usually taxi drivers. Yeah, they're all right. Yeah.
Important distinction, though. Not taxi drivers this is not the same area of London that like Amy Winehouse and Simon Amstel are from.
It's not far. That's more like Finchley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or are they East End, actually? Were they like Stamford Hill, kind of more?
I think so, because they're way more, their natural accents are a lot wider, aren't they?
There are various kind of Jewish enclaves all over North London, but this is like your northwest, right? So it's your Stanmore, Edgware, Colindale, Hendon, Burnt Oak, Kingsbury, Queensbury.
Yeah, but when you think about like where the wealthiest Jewish diaspora live, that's more like...
Well, that's Golders Green. St. John's Wood.
Yeah, St. John's Wood, Highgate, Hampstead area type of things. And I think Simon Amstel and Amy Winehouse, because they have similar backgrounds, I think they were...
Like from the posh bit?
No, not from the posh bit. From more like Hendon.
Oh, okay. I'll look into it. It's very boring.
I'm sorry. No one's interested in this. We're just talking about, Yeah. All right. Let's go back outside London to Torquay.
Oh, did we want to say anything at all about their beautiful romantic?
There's not much
meeting?
To go on, in my opinion.
No, and it's worth saying. We won't go into tremendous detail because these establishing ones in Defuck are really just that. But she was very frosty with him. I got the feeling that the online cheating, TM, and we have to make the distinction. Yeah. I feel like it was quite a long time ago, and it all felt very odd.
It may have been. I think they filmed this out of sequence, and I think maybe it was fresher than he made it out to be.
Maybe, yeah.
But also, it was her friend.
Which feels like the bigger crime to me.
That is the big
And I want to know
That's
what they did once they were on a break, as it were. Were there nudies exchanged?
Those are on a break is a pretty incendiary phrase.
I know. I've been playful. So yeah, look, more detail to come out there. But I was particularly fond of insisting that he drove the car half a block down to where she
that was hilarious. And then he couldn't start it because he's not used to driving.
The stalling was magnificent.
A manual. Yeah.
Absolutely magnificent. He looked like Mr. Bean, didn't he, in his little car?
Pure comedy.
Yeah. Genitals.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I mean, Jamie collects action figures. We haven't really discussed that at great length. I'm sure we'll come back to it. I don't have a lot to say. Like I say, I don't mind people that collect things. Any passion is good, I think. Any interest, any hobby, any passion. I would rather a person had one, even if it seems ridiculous, than they didn't. Yeah. But I do think that his genitals are like theirs.
If you're curious, being an autistic ADHD person myself, I'm always looking out for my own. I'm not sure that he is. I think he's just socially conditioned to be very childlike and to kind of stay that way. I think it's more arrested development than...
But it could be 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Sure.
Did we have any thoughts about his ratty friend?
I thought we were still on the genitals.
Oh.
I'm not seeing... So to use my talent, and for those of you who aren't familiar, I have a talent for what one of our listeners calls lip reading, where I can tell whether a gentleman could say service a person with a vagina in a certain kind of way.
If he can converse with a vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he can make good conversation.
Jamie can't.
No.
And doesn't want to.
No.
And hasn't had to.
No. Hasn't been allowed to. Hasn't.
He's been deterred from it. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't have genitals. She does. Anyway. I like Jamie. I like Jamie a lot. I'm sure you have a penis. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of him. Like I say, it just fucking did my head in for this kind of representation. It really did. It really did. So come and talk to us one day, Jamie. We can talk about, Cannons Park or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come round for Friday night dinner.
Come round for Friday night dinner.
Bring Marsha.
Yeah.
She would not let me lift a finger, and I would
you
love it.
You wouldn't get near that kitchen.
I know.
No. Right.
Y'all, my mother-in-law and I have had some serious altercations over
Come
kitchen
on.
space. All right. Let's go to Nicole and Tahir, Taher, or Tar.
What's this you say? Another Nicole?
Another blonde Western Nicole with a Muslim man. Have we learned nothing from the previous blonde Nicoles?
I was like, thank God they're not going to repeat the storylines that have made me scream into a microphone for the last couple of seasons about unrelenting, unforgiving Muslim men. I was like, oh, thank God this one's different.
It's not sounding great.
Nope.
And we get a little surprise.
A blonde bombshell.
We did get married in Cairo on Tuesday the 30th of May. Yeah, we got married. What? I kept it really private, so...
Her parents weren't even there, and she's really close with her parents.
I could be wrong, Nicole is fucking crazed.
Do you know...
Nicole is so dangerous.
I haven't even told you this.
Yeah.
Cousin Dan said exactly the same thing, totally unbidden.
Right.
He said, one look at those eyes.
Yeah.
She's completely nuts.
She is completely crazed. As you know, I find that very attractive.
Yes. That's all it takes for you, really. If she welled up with tears,
oh my God,
you would be so sprung.
I really, really would be, though. That's the thing. Yeah, she's my new favorite person on any television program ever. I'm completely in love with her. She is absolutely demented, and I cannot wait.
And then, of course, we've got I'm just going to call him Tar because that's what she calls him.
A few people say it differently. Tahar, Taya, Tar. Yeah.
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 Normal Islamic religion, you can marry for a woman. I want to be family like my family.
Couldn't really make that out.
Yeah, sorry, that was hard to hear. He said in response to I don't know what, that normally a Muslim in his religion, a man can have 4 wives and that he wants to have a big family.
Yeah.
And sense
I think his dad has several wives because one of his brothers is like
85 years old.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sure. Good. Oh man, I don't really need the storyline we're still just suffering on Happily Ever After about the Muslim man criticizing the Western woman's clothing. I just don't need it. Thank God Nicole is completely crazed and it is good. But hopefully she's not crazed like what's her name is crazed, right?
Nicole?
No, in the States.
Yeah, her name is Nicole.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. Oh, it's going to get too confusing.
How could you get that wrong?
Oh, God. Yeah, I could do without her calling him a little fuck and just being a bit... The thing about this Nicole is, like, she's crazed, but I think fundamentally good. She's chaotic good, not chaotic evil, right?
You know what Muslim storyline I miss the most is Shane and Mert, who we had the pleasure of interviewing last year.
Yeah.
If you want to see two people who love each other and, you know, compromise and talk about their values and don't keep those kinds of secrets between them about their feelings.
And agendas.
Yeah.
Or Ziad was another.
Rebecca. Yeah.
I work so much. You know, there have been good ones, but 90 Day UK really loves this beat, which is why I hated it so much in like the American one. It's like, God, we've seen so much.
No, I should have known that because Suella Braverman was one of the creative consultants.
Yeah.
Absolutely no one's going to get that joke, but I'm glad it made you laugh.
I want to put them all on planes. They've all got to get on a plane. I can't do a Rishi. Can you
guys, Rishi is so embarrassing, and I can't wait till he's gone. Anyway.
Your Rishi's good.
Yes, my Rishi is...
It's a bit plummier.
It's very good. I do want to get them on the planes. I want to get them on the planes. You forgot about the lisp, but that's the most important part.
Yeah.
You've got to have... You see... Cameron had a level of enthusiasm. He was really pumped up like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you sort of shrink that a little bit and make it a little bit higher and make it sound like somebody who would...
Rishi's enthusiasm gets caught in his gums.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about... By the time you listen to this podcast...
Who even knows?
Well, he's going to last longer than the last one, isn't it? Right. Genitals. I mean, Nicole has 10 out of 10 genitals. She definitely has genitals.
You know what? I'm going to give him a 12 out of 10 for going up to a woman who's on a date with her fiance and poaching her.
Yes, we should absolutely talk about this. Bold as fuck. And like I say, this was the first sign I think we had that she is terrifying and dangerous and magnificent, that she would do that in front of her. I'm sure they were already having problems, right?
Sure, but I think I've told this story before, and I've said I don't see it. You know, he's not for me.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't see the charm or attraction, but
Continue.
Fine. I was on a date many years ago with a guy, and another guy came up to me and said, can I buy you a drink? And I said, oh, I'm actually on a date. And he says, I know.
It's hot.
It's the hottest thing that has ever happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had to bring a new tablecloth because
Wow.
I squared it on it.
You see, right? Good.
You're so embarrassed.
I've done that once.
Squirted on a table?
Yes. I went up to a girl and told her she could do a lot better, and that better was me.
How did it go?
I think I got in a fight with the guy. If memory... look, was I entirely sober? No, I was not. Do I remember all the details of this story? No, I do not. I seem to remember it not going great. I certainly didn't skip off with her into the sunset.
You know what's interesting is you could have lied, right? Like, because I hadn't heard that story before. Our listeners hadn't heard that story before.
Oh, I could have made it up. I could have been like, yeah. She bent over and I banged her on the table in front of her date. Yeah, I could have, yeah.
Well, that's...
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're excited, and I'll give you that. There's a lot that wide eyes and
She's from Torquay.
big blonde boobies can do to
I don't know
a
if her
man.
boobs are blonde.
But they're attached to a blonde.
Yeah, I don't think she's a natural blonde.
I got that feeling too.
Yeah. She's from Torquay, which is where Basil Fawlty's from. So complete crazedness is obviously in the water of the English Riviera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm hoping that Taya, whatever we're saying, I hope there's a lot of... where is he actually from?
Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want him to say, I know English. I learned it from a book. And I want her to be like, he's from Egypt. And I essentially want them to recreate Fawlty Towers. Would be good.
I don't think anyone is going to understand that.
Americans watch Fawlty Towers.
Not anymore.
Well, they're not going to watch the reboot. That's for damn sure.
There's not. No.
Yep.
What?
Cleese has got, John Cleese,
I don't want
ex-wife
to
and John
stop
Cleese,
talking right now. I
has
don't want
got
to hear it.
72 ex-wives, all of whom want alimony. He will do anything for money. He has to do anything for money. He's not a very nice man.
Is what's her name still alive?
Prunella Scales or Connie Booth?
Her name's not Prunella Scales.
Yeah. Mrs. Fawlty.
Yeah, is she still alive?
That was played by the wonderful actor Prunella Scales.
Yes.
I don't know. Is the answer to that. I believe Connie Booth is still alive. She was with Cleese at the time of writing.
Shocker.
Yeah. It didn't go good.
All right. We have gotten to, I'm sorry, calling it as my early favorite couple, even though we've not met everyone. And of course, we have yet to check in on Louise and Jose.
Or Tony and Nui.
Well, we haven't met them yet.
No.
I'm saying we've been deprived of Louise and Jose.
Yes. And Sam and Ali as well, I think, are another couple that I don't think we've met.
No.
So, should we finish on the finest?
Yes. And my favorite. So I'm going to...
A cool, delicious glass of Sprite.
So this is John's intro.
Sprite and I met on a dating app during a time where I was breaking up with my ex-boyfriend, and I needed some support from someone because I was going through a tough time.
Not going to get it there,
Sprite,
mate.
he gave me the sense of warmth that he's there to support me. His personality is amazing. He doesn't need to do anything. He just needs to be himself. And just that is enough to keep me interested, to keep me in love.
So we literally have Richard Marx wheeled in to play piano in the background. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be right here waiting for you. And he's talking about support and all that. And it's only fair that before we keep talking, I compare contrast with Sprite's retelling.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what about you? What has been happening with John?
So we dealing long distance right now.
The first time you met him is on Tinder, right?
The picture looks so horrible. Actually, I don't like this kind of foreigner. When I first dating him, he asked me so many times to be his boyfriend, but I refused. I didn't like him at all. I swipe right?
Uh-huh.
Because on his bio, on his information said that he teaching English and that is why we start chatting. Everyone can see that you're English.
That is the person.
He's so warm. He's so supportive.
So warm, so supportive.
He was there for me. I was breaking up with my boyfriend. It's glorious. Every once in a while, the reality TV fairies shit pure unicorn tears, and that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
And you end up with someone like Sprite.
There aren't even. I didn't even.
I adore him.
There's a mishap from the jump, unfortunately. It's a Sprite's baggage is lost.
But he picks up all of John's baggage.
Question. God bless y'all. John is maybe the most codependent person who has ever been on this show. And that's saying a lot.
I know.
We love him.
I know.
We feel for him.
He's nice. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
No, nice people or codependent people are mostly very nice.
Yeah, it helps. But he's not a superstar. The relationship is doomed because you can't capture lightning in a bottle like Sprite. You can't tie him down.
No. Sprite belongs to the streets.
Sprite is going to outgrow any cage you put him in.
Yes. That's really more what I meant. I didn't mean, the streets, but he's also very talented. I love his photography.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. He's got boy band looks. He's funny as hell. He's talented. He's young. He's made it to a certain level in a country where it is not easy to make it to that level at a really young age. He is ambitious as fuck. He's done whatever he needed to do to take the next step. And I don't think he's stopping. That's all I'm saying.
No,
I'm just saying, within the 90-day universe, think of the biggest star the show, the franchise has ever produced. Sprite is going to make them look like a D-lister.
It's going to make them look like 7-Up.
Right.
But grocery store brand 7-Up.
Right. I love the name Sprite. It's just, how did it happen?
I don't know.
I
It's
just
incredible.
need to know everything about him. Everything.
I'm obsessed. I need to find him on Instagram. John did comment on our Instagram, so hopefully we can broker some kind of. If you're listening, John, we love you.
Yeah, John seems like a lovely guy.
And
also, Aylesbury, for what it's worth, Aylesbury is also on the tube. It is not that far out.
No, and I think it's. I mean, I'd like to own a home in Buckinghamshire for.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm
fork's
thinking of
sake.
Amersham.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, there's no way that Aylesbury is on
No, it's
the
not,
tube.
but it's fine. Chiltern Line into Marylebone, it'll be all right. It's not that far out.
No. So John tries to make up for sort of a rather startling, I think, lack of personal touch to this house, I have to say.
However, he didn't buy gas station flowers, so well done, John.
Huge points.
Absolutely
for buying
buck the trend.
really beautiful flowers that are not gas station flowers.
Well done.
All right, so John has a plan.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up these fairy lights and then I'm going to clip pictures of us on them. It's going to be like a little surprise for him. Hope he likes it. I love Sprite so much. There's not enough words in this world that can explain it. It's infinite.
Oh, but don't go to B&M for the great.
So this is Sprite's response to John's limitless, undying love. And the gesture that symbolizes it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm shocked right now. So many pictures. Yeah, it's all our memories. I'm actually a little bit scared right now. I feel like I got my own stalker.
I mean, as soon as John put that up, I looked over at you and I just went, it's Alan Partridge. It's the episode of Partridge. And again, American listeners, we adore you. But if you haven't watched every single minute of every Alan Partridge,
you need to do it right now.
That's your problem, not mine. Fix yourself. There is an episode where Alan Partridge thinks he's met a fan and, you know, is really delighted because, you know, he's down on his heels and ends up going back to this person's house and they have a shrine to him. It's just a phenomenal scene.
But like a full-on rubber mask and
sex dungeon fetish shrine.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. And that is what I thought as soon as I saw John's wall. It would freak me the fuck out. It really would. If I went back to a girl's place for the first time and she had like a wall of me.
Is it weird that we have... I was looking through, we recently celebrated our second wedding anniversary, which is kind of crazy because we've almost been together for 8 years. And I feel like it's weird that we've been married like relatively short
but you're forgetting
time.
the past lives.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
We have so few photos together and we just never take photos. And when we're out, I always make an effort, especially with the family because, you know, kids grow up so fast.
So fast.
Y'all,
Alfie got a haircut.
Alfie has 2 girlfriends.
He's got them fighting over him. I mean, it's inevitable, right? My DNA is youth.
Anytime that he is beautiful, and obviously, you know, we're responsible co-parents and we'll never use his real name or show his picture on our social media, but he is a gorgeous, gorgeous boy. And we are very lucky in so many respects. And I honestly had no idea I didn't know that adolescent girls were so unhinged.
Yes. They are fighting now.
The girls are fighting.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd see the day.
I'm so
he's growing
proud
up
of
too
my
fast.
little boy.
But is it weird? Is it weird that we just don't take photos of everything, or do we just...
No, you see, being part of my generation, like I grew up in the generation where with the advent of the camera phone, like everything got ruined in the whole world. Like the world was quite nice and quite good, and then people started taking pictures of it all the fucking time, and it just ruined everything. And so I'm averse to it. Like, I hate it when people go on holiday and they just take a million pictures of the place they've gone on, like as if those photographs from exactly that same angle aren't on Google. They are. You don't need to take more. And I just can't stand the way that human beings live with their hands in the air, photographing everything. So I don't do it. That's the thing. When I was younger, I used to take loads of pictures. When you had to develop film and stuff, I used to love taking pictures. But yeah, the over-photographing of the world.
I've never been into it. I've never quite got there myself.
No.
I did film a lot of things when I was in film school. Not the kind of thing that you're thinking about. Although I did insist on being semi-nude in the first short film that I made.
I recently revived an old laptop of Michelle's. And because I'm a good person, I have not, there's been no Apple F search for media type video. There's been none of that. I haven't looked at a thing on it, and I never will because I respect privacy. But the treasures that might be on that computer.
I think it's probably me just doing lame sketches, or another thing I used to do is I used to do these black and white photos of myself. I was really into, Cindy Sherman.
No.
Okay, well, she's an incredible photographer. Look her up. She did a series, I think, called Film Stills, where she would just make film stills and photograph herself in them.
Okay.
And they were incredible.
Right.
I am not an incredible photographer. I have a good eye, but I basically posed dramatically in different
That's my girl.
outfits.
That's
yeah.
my girl. Still want to see it. Not going to look myself. I'm a good boy. Right. Do we have anything else to say, particularly about John and Sprite, other than, look, Cornwall, probably not Newquay. I think they go to Newquay, right? I think.
I don't want to listen. Cornwall is
Gorgeous.
beautiful. And if I could live anywhere in this fair country year round, it would
be Bristol.
It would, well, yeah.
Which is easier to get to Cornwall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cornwall's stunning. I mean, really stunning. Like, there are places in this country that are quite nice, right? And then there are places in this country that are better than the nice places in some other countries, and Cornwall is one of those.
It's the magnificence of it all. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Newquay is not one of those places.
No. I thought that hotel room was all right. I thought for a hostel.
Wasn't a hotel room, it was a hostel.
Yeah.
I just think he didn't.
I think a window looking out onto the waves is always a good thing.
I think that it's just such a major miscalculation. And what worries me here is that I'm a little concerned that the Sprite that John has in his head and has kind of created through projection is not the actual Sprite. Because I would have said at a minimum, okay, if London is too expensive, and I get it, like it's really expensive to go to London even for a day.
Yeah.
Go to Brighton. There's a great nightlife there. You know, you're among the gays.
Yeah.
You know, even if...
But Sprite is an onion. Sprite has got some very interesting layers. Sprite is at the same time part of like this metropolitan chic, slightly bougie. Like when we see pictures of him with his friends, it's in a very nice sort of beach bar-y kind of, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? He's rolling with the big knobs. I get the feeling back home. But he doesn't want to drink here. I think he wants the quiet life, and that he is quite confusing, actually, who he is and what he is. I think he perhaps wants to be like one thing in his work life and another thing in his domestic life. I don't quite know, but I'm fascinated by that dichotomy. He's not what you think he is.
It could be, and it could be that, you know, it may be that it took him time to get comfortable being on camera. I don't know. But this is A Star Is Born, and his name is Sprite. There's no question about that.
There's no question about that. We will have a lot more to say over the coming weeks about John's cooking. I'm sure we will back ref in some ways whether beer pong is disgusting. I'd never thought about it before, but now I have thought about it. It is disgusting.
I'm excellent at beer pong.
Yeah, I bet you are.
But I think
now you think more about buggies than when you were young. Would you drink the beer that the ping? Alfie would not drink the beer.
No.
First, he's 12.
Also, he's decided that he's never going to drink alcohol already.
Oh, God.
Which is wild.
Bloody
At least try it.
Yeah.
I should say that I was either drunk or high, you know, in the peak of my beer pong career.
Right.
So
you didn't think about the fact that was just bouncing on the floor?
No, it couldn't have been worse than whatever I was putting in my mouth later that night.
Okay, fair enough.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
To wit, do both John and Sprite have genitals? Now, John definitely has genitals, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to grade out of 10. And remember, this is not what are their genitals like out of 10. That would be...
Yeah, we're not talking aesthetics or
size
or anything like
that.
That
would be awful to do that.
Yeah.
I'm grading them on the degree to which they do have them. Not how big they are or anything, but the statistical probability that they are not plastic flat nubs. Now, I can say with confidence, I think that it is 9 out of 10 that John does have some genitals. I'm almost certain. I don't know about Sprite. Sprite might be too perfect for this world to have genitals.
I don't know.
I can't think of him in that way. I can't sully him with those thoughts.
They're no Kenny and Armando, that's for sure.
He reminds me of Armando quite a lot, actually. If Armando hadn't had a terrible, tragic upbringing where he was repressed, but was actually allowed to be free and glorious. Sometimes, you know how Armando has this really delicious shade sometimes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. As soon as I saw Sprite, I thought of Armando. Like, he is Armando liberated. Armando untied. That's what I thought. Anyway. All right, look. The honest truth is we've chittered for too long. We're overexcited. We need to go to our buggy bed. We need to probably go back to the loo.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've both got horrible tummies. Thank you all for returning to be with us or joining us for the first time. Sometimes it's loose and chaotic. Sometimes it's tight and sharp. Whatever it is, it's us.
And we wouldn't be here without you.
No.
We love you.
We do. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Michelle's going to be back later in the week with Jack doing Love in Paradise.
Yep. And fingers and toes crossed, we will be recapping the finale of Seeking Sister Wife.
Yes. Yes.
All right. May Bisepi bless and keep you all.
And Bagagua.
And Bagagua. We will see you soon.
Oh, how lovely.